Welcome back, Twisters, and hey there, hockey fans. Nick here, and I wanted to share with you a special story because guess what? The Stanley Cup came to Spokane today, and I got to get my picture taken with it and touch the cup. And man, it was a special day. Not just that moment there, but of course, everything leading up to it was wonderful. And I'm just a little bit on cloud nine after that, just because I really feel like I've connected with where I live now. I've only been in this area for about 10 months, and it was just a great taste of what lies ahead in Spokane and hockey in this community here. So I'm going to share that. I got some photos and some videos and whatnot. And before I dive in, of course, make sure if you haven't already, hit the red subscribe button, especially if you're around Spokane, North Idaho. That's where I am. And if you're a Spokane Chiefs fan, WHL, all that good stuff, I want to make sure I provide some local hockey content here, in addition to some content for my favorite team, the Sharks, the Kraken as well, and just hockey in general. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I'm outside of Spokane Arena because Tyler Johnson is in town, and he's brought with him the Stanley Cup. Of course, he's a back-to-back champ with the Lightning, and now he's been traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. But most importantly, he, of course, played for the Spokane Chiefs from 2007 to 2011. And so, he wanted to celebrate in his hometown here. The Cup was apparently in Coeur d'Alene, where I live, 2 days ago. Wayne Gretzky was driving it around in a van, apparently. That's what the newspaper said. So I kind of wish I had seen that. But we're going to get a picture with the cup a little bit later on. And I'm going to be chatting with Paul Buxton, a huge Seattle Kraken and San Jose Sharks fan who's lived in this area before here too. So I've got to go pay him a little visit here. And in case you didn't know, he was actually on camera for the NHL draft. He got to, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, I think that he got to go up to the Space Needle and feed a line to, I forgot if it was Kevin Weeks or whoever it was. And I think he said something like, "Who did the Kraken get to select from the Philadelphia Flyers?" Something like that. So I thought it'd be cool to meet up with him since, we've been talking for a while there. But that was super fun as well because he has such a rich knowledge of hockey in this region, and coming originally from the Bay Area, he knows quite a bit about the San Jose Sharks as well. So that's special for me too, to be able to connect with somebody in this hockey community. And so that was just one of the highlights of the day. So I went over to the arena at about 2 p.m. So the cup was going to be available for photos from 3 to 4:30. However, Tyler Johnson would not be available for autographs and signings and whatnot. The cool thing is that I'm walking through the crowds, and man, people are just geeked out and gussied up in their jerseys and their hats and everything. You get all, people wearing Spokane Chiefs. Lots of people are wearing Tampa Bay Lightning, right? A lot of people were wearing Blackhawks though, and a lot of people were wearing Seattle Kraken, but you still saw all teams represented for the most part. We slowly kind of moved through the queue, and we're still outside. I was outside for what? I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half, something like that. And yeah, it's hot for sure. Not too much shade going on either. And then what happens is a bunch of cops pull up to the drop-off point at the arena. And then I jokingly said to somebody, "You know what? I bet you anything, Tyler Johnson's one of them." And they're like, no, see that SUV? And this SUV pulls up. And some people start kind of rushing over from the line from the queue there. Of course, I wanted to stay in line. I don't want to be that guy. And so apparently Tyler Johnson got out. I didn't actually see him, but there were people hooting and hollering, and I have a video clip of that, of course. At least we expect that Tyler Johnson's going to be down there. And bingo. And he might be bringing a friend or two.
He's in all black. That's different. Can't see him really.
So definitely the excitement was building. And when I was in line, it was so much fun because I was just chatting with different people from different parts of the country. There was a guy who was right next to me, and he grew up in New York, and so he was there when they won the Cup in 1994. There was this other gentleman, I believe, kind of early senior citizen age, and he was telling me all these stories about not just the Chiefs, but hockey in Spokane, even before that, going back to, I think, the 70s or even before that, about just how different the game was, about the fights that had broken out, and how one player would carry a game puck with him, and he would throw it to the other end of the ice to distract the ref, and then he'd probably go do something illegal. And so it really built up this kind of legend, this mystique of hockey in Spokane. You know, I've said it without going to any Chiefs games or anything like that here. I said, you know what? I think that this is one of the best kept secrets in terms of hockey communities in the country or maybe the continent. And today, it really lived up to those expectations, and it was special. I had these two sisters behind me. They were talking about going to games in Vancouver and Calgary, and they knew everything too. Actually, one of them, her daughter, grew up going to school with Tyler Johnson. They were in the same grade, I think she said that. And so she's known him since he was like 12 years old and like right behind me. So I was just living it up. And then we get inside, and thankfully there was air conditioning, although once everybody started trickling in, then, you know, warmed up, but it wasn't that bad. Much better than being outside in the heat. And then I'd say like the last 10 minutes we went by really quickly. We moved up quite a bit. And then you get one photo, one professional photo with the Stanley Cup. You can't have them take a picture with your phone or anything like that. So I went up. I was surprised that they let us touch the cup. So I put my hand on the cup, you know, said a prayer or two, got my picture taken, and I said, all right, this is cool. I hope I get a chance to do this again, but I'm going to cherish this for sure. And they had a kiosk there with Tyler Johnson Spokane Chiefs shirts, and they had some signage around there. And, you know, there were some people hanging around. And I thought to myself, well, maybe that's because Tyler Johnson might come out again. You know, he walked into the arena earlier. He went downstairs. He was probably chatting with some people that he knew from the organization. And that never actually happened. But you know what? It was still pretty darn special, because just seeing all the different people going up to the cup and taking a picture and just their excitement. The sisters behind me, they're like, this is a hockey town. And I said, you know what? This is proof. And on September 26th, I get to see that on full display when the Kraken play their first preseason game in that arena against the Canucks. I can't wait, man. And I believe Paul Buxton is going to be there as well. So hopefully get a chance to meet up with him and maybe meet some of you. So let me know in the comments if you intend to go. What else do I want to say there? And of course, the great part about sticking around was I saw some people taking photos with Phil Pritchard, who is the keeper of the Stanley Cup. He goes around, travels around with the Stanley Cup to all these different parts of the continent. I believe he goes overseas as well, as, you know, international players or intercontinental players bring it to their home countries and their hometowns. And I think that's really cool. And I went up to him and I just wanted to be polite. I said, excuse me, Mr. Pritchard, could I get a photo with you? And he was just like, yeah, come here. Puts his arm around me. And I said, oh, let's make sure we get the cup in the back. And then one of his colleagues, I believe, he said, hey, I can take your phone for you. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And so he gets a photo and there's the cup right there. And I'm like, wow, that's really neat. I mean, even more special than like seeing the Stanley Cup, it's actually having just a quick moment like that with somebody who has, he never runs out of stories to tell about everybody he's met and the places he's visited with this majestic trophy. How cool is that, guys? And then I got a little segment here of a local broadcaster kind of doing a news segment. And yeah, that was my day. That was awesome. I felt kind of felt a little overwhelmed, you know. I said, wow, you know, I had dreamed of being in a new environment where this could actually happen, and here it is, and it's terrific. It's not the same as being in an NHL city, but you know what? Maybe I was taking that for granted a little bit when I was living in the Bay Area or growing up close enough. You know, I was about an hour away from the Shark Tank when I was a kid. I'm looking forward to the next time I get to go out to the arena, watch some hockey, and hopefully meet some of you out there too. There it is, guys. I got to touch the cup, get my picture taken, and that's going to be emailed to me, I don't know when, probably the next few days. But yeah, they let you touch the cup. That's pretty awesome. And you get the little backdrop here with the Tyler Johnson branding or imagery, I suppose. They even have Tyler Johnson Spokane Chiefs shirts there as well. So yeah. I forgot to pass the message on to the Cup. I was going to say, see you in San Jose. Probably in about 7 or 8 years, but we'll get there. And yeah, it's just been amazing. There have been fans of all kinds of teams here, all sorts of jerseys, and you really do get the feel that it's a hockey town here. The locals were telling me that, and I haven't been to a Chiefs game before, but after this, I do believe it. So yeah, this has been such a cool opportunity, even though very short-lived. And yeah, I've got my hands on the Stanley Cup. Didn't get to raise it, but probably shouldn't anyway if I was recovering from shoulder surgery, although real hockey players would have picked it up nonetheless. But this has been awesome. I'll catch you Twisters later. Ciao.